Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to Ask to My Ox.
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This right here is my lovely wife, Fiona.
And this right here is my lovelier husband, Aisa. I just bit off your word.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all, we got a question like the hit, go. All right. I've recently come to find your site, and to date, I have found your articles and videos quite helpful. Great. However, I haven't found where you've discussed military marriages. I'm married to an Army officer. I knew that going in, and I have absolutely no problem with it. In all actuality, I'm proud of my husband and the work that he does. He deals with stress combat, which is training and counseling soldiers before and after deployment. Good stuff. The problem lies in the fact that he is so busy helping others that he finds it impossible to talk about his own issues, which we all have. I feel so shut out and isolated from his life. I tell him that all I want to be is his helpmate, but because he won't talk to me, I don't know exactly how to help. Do you have any advice on how to help the helper? I really miss my best friend. Oh. All right. Okay. There's the question.
One really interesting dynamic about this question is that when you're in the helping profession, there's a code of ethics that you need to abide by. So, my wife and I working with couples as well as individuals. There's a real fine line when it comes to. You said that you want to know, you want to get more connected with him and know what's going on in his world, but there's a line that based off of. His licensure, I'm not sure if he is licensed, but his code of ethics, whatever he's obligated to follow or abide by, where he can't or he shouldn't be sharing but so much information with you. That's not to say it happens in all situations because sometimes couples do share. But again, he may be one of those types of guys who are like, I'm not bringing my work home. I can't share A, B, and C. What's going on with X, Y, and Z. And as a result, you might be feeling isolated or shut out because of that. So the details of his day, because he's working with people, counseling with people, and just really in the nitty gritty with dealing with people's stuff, he might feel like I can't share a whole bunch of stuff with you. Now,
But she said she wanted to know about his issues.
yeah, I know. I'll tell you this: that as a guy who's in the helping profession as well, sometimes it's hard to turn off the switch. Sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable and allow somebody in and just really share your insecurities, your issues, your vulnerabilities, your frailties, because you're so used to helping everybody else and being strong for everybody else. So it's a difficult thing to navigate. But what I will say is that the more safe, the more encouraging, the more supportive, the more concerned that you are with his well-being and how he's doing, how he's feeling, and whether it be just you sitting next to him and you putting your arm around him, you holding his hand and you being quiet with him in times where he wants to talk and allow him the floor to share really what it is that's on his heart. That right there, what it does is it opens up the door for him. So really, I think that your responsibility is to create the scenario where you're putting a crack in the door, you're opening up the door slightly and allowing him the opportunity to step through. You can't pull him through. You can't pull him through because again, this is a different dynamic, different paradigm that he's not used to. So you have to set the stage where he's looking in the door. He's peeking to see whether or not he wants to come in because if he's the one that's used to being the one helping other people, now he has to let his guard down and step into a position where he's being vulnerable and availing himself to you. Now you all are married, so you would think that most men and women do that in a relationship, but they don't. So you're not abnormal in that sense. But the way you get to that authenticity is to create the safe space for him to be able to be willing to be authentic with you.
Mm-hmm. And so I think my husband has summed it up really well. This is applicable to all relationships, not just those who are married to someone who is a counselor or who's helping someone else, because there's a lot that we learn to do and that we can do as professional people. But when we look at our own lives, we're not necessarily transferring what we do professionally or what we know is correct in our own personal lives, right? And so I want you to keep that in mind. But I think probably the most important thing for you to really hold on to is what my husband said about you're not being able to pull him through the door. to come closer to you and sit down and talk. You really have to be patient, and you really have to allow him to walk through. And if you're like many women, myself included, I want to be there for you. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what you're thinking, how you're feeling. I want you to talk to me like I talk to my girlfriends. And that's not how dudes get down. So oftentimes the challenge for us as women is to learn what a safe space looks like for a man. A safe space for a man looks entirely and completely different than a safe space looks like for a woman. So for me and for you, I might call you up. I might say, let's go out to lunch. Let's go get something to eat. Let's sit down. Let me talk to you a little bit. Let me get you a card. Sister friend, I know you're going through. I got your back. We sit down and talk. Dudes don't want all of that. It may feel a little too much. You're doing too much. You're doing the most right now. So just chill. So you have to be really, really conscientious about how you're showing up. You may be really doing, coming at him from a good place, the best intentions, but you're coming to him like he's your girlfriend.
But what's interesting is that guys...
And you don't, you tell me, but I know that for me, I've had to learn how to just be patient, to really not bring stuff up. Sometimes, let you know I'm here. I want to talk if you're ready, whatever. But then chill. And sometimes chilling for a week, and he ain't saying nothing about it. And we just don't do that as women. But still learning how to step back and wait for him patiently. That's the greatest thing I think you can do.
Yeah, waiting, but it's a game though. You need to wait, but you also need to pursue as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a delicate balance between waiting and pursuing.
And pursuing is not. It's not the same. It's not aggressive.
It's not aggressive.
It's not aggressive at all. Come here.
Pursuing includes affirming. Pursuing includes validating. So you lift up and you acknowledge what he's going through. You acknowledge that you see maybe an element of stress, some anxiety, some pressure, that you're aware that he might be overwhelmed. You're aware that, he got a lot going on, but you applaud him for putting his best foot forward and showing up as the man, showing up as your man. So again, you're validating his experience and you're affirming his place in your life, in your heart, and how he provides for the family.
Ask him what he needs.
You ask him what he needs, which is so crucial because when my wife, she mentioned that guys don't want it the same way women want it, which is true. But let me just say this: the guys do want it. Guys may not admit that they want it. They might not even know that they want it. But guys want it. That's why guys go to the bars. That's why guys go to shoot pool. That's why guys go to shoot hoop, because they're looking for connection.
That's their kitchen table.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking for connection. They're looking for intimacy. So your man, he wants intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
The way you go about experiencing and giving him that intimacy is going to be uniquely different than how you go about that with your woman. So again,
your woman,
your friend, your girlfriends. so again, it's a delicate balance between pursuing and holding back and falling back some. But I think that the most important thing is that you ask. The most important thing is that you validate and you affirm his experience. One of the most wonderful things that my wife does sometimes is she holds my hands and she looks into my eyes and she asks me, how are you doing? What's going on? I'm noticing this. That sometimes it becomes so intense and so uncomfortable that I gotta look away, because there's things that are going on in here that are, a bit uncomfortable for me to share. But she continues to hold my hands and and continues to look into my eyes, and in doing so, it's almost as if it melts the wall away. So again, I want to share. Your man wants to share. All men want to share, but you got to be persistent, in a relaxed, respectful, humble type of way, patient type of way, and eventually he will come around. But just don't let him be. Don't leave him to himself. Remind him that you love him, that you support him, that you got his back, and that you want to be a part of his life, a part of his world, and that you want to intimately know him. And he'll eventually open up.
As long as you remember that men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and you are very intentional about how you communicate so that you are not getting your own needs met. I need to tell you this. I want you to know this. But that you are thinking about how he can best hear and receive what you really want him to get from you. That's an entirely different thing. How can I say it? How can I show it? I don't even have to talk sometimes in a way that may not really feel the best for me, but I know he'll get it. As long as you're intentional in that way, then you will succeed. Just remember, that in order to do any of these things we've talked about today, you must stop playing and start
Start pushing.
pushing.